woman in agriculture can take the lead. Whatever the challenge, whatever the need, she rise to meet the demands of every single day in her own unique, phenomenal way. An exceptional woman is here to stay.
I was born and raised in Northeast Nebraska on a farm. Not the typical farm kid that a lot of the gals in the room will be, because I was raised very traditionally. Mom was in the house and Dad was outside, and I had an uncle that farmed with my dad, so it didn't necessitate us girls being outside all the time. And so, yeah, my farm background there probably includes packing eggs, and we had a separator because we milked one cow. And then I went to college at UNL, lived down on East Campus. My major was home ec in the day, now it's FCS. So then, yeah, I spent a lot of time with these ag people. I still have the home ec degree, but anyway, and so then, you know, since I've been married, I've become lots more involved in all sorts of ag organizations.
I met Anita Sandahl Keys when we were both students at UNL. We both lived on East Campus in Lincoln, and we had several friends in common, so we started doing things together on East Campus. And I remember in college, Carrie and Anita were inseparable college sweethearts.
Whenever we were first married, it was a family operation, which included my father, my uncle, and my cousin and myself. And so at that time, we had a lot of manpower, so to speak. And so her role was more simply managing the household, emergency runs for parts, and that type of thing.
Yeah, my role on the ranch, and we even discussed this before we were married, you know, his mom was very much in the traditional, the mom in the house does the garden, does the canning, that sort of thing, takes care of the kids, and my mom too. And that's kind of what we were planning on, you know, that's kind of the role I would have, and I was fine with that. And then, you know, things kind of evolve as they do with everything. Life happens and things change. And I remember, yeah, one of the verses that was at our wedding was, you know, whither thou goest, I will go, that verse from Ruth kind of a thing. And yes, I got teased a lot by, you know, friends and family that were like, yeah, where are you going, out in the boonies? My mom was like, oh, she even said, if you marry this kid, I will never come see you, but she lied. Anyway, so very traditional at first. And, you know, we had children, we raised our two girls here.
So when she was in extension, when we were like in preschool, and then when we got into elementary school, she stopped working part-time and then became a stay-at-home mom. And then she homeschooled us during high school, and so then that was a different role that we got to see a lot of her being a teacher for us in a more formal stance. But that's definitely one of the things that Mom, I'm not sure who enjoyed it more, Mom or us, learning. So every day when you open up her textbook, she'd be like, oh, what are we learning about today? And that's just 100% her, like, the desire to learn, and it's just contagious.
Obviously, when we were born, she was the mother and the caretaker in our home. Good thing she likes to cook, because that's what she's really good at. And then as we've aged and gotten out of the house, her role with Dad here on the ranch has changed. She's definitely more involved, where I used to be on the four-wheeler, she's now on the side-by-side.
They split the ranch, because before there were like 4 men working the ranch together. And so the father and son separated. And so that limited, you know, the help. And then Grandpa had some heart issues, failed in health, and now he's no longer living, Grandma either. That meant Carrie needed some help every once in a while.
So at that point in time, then she took on a more active role, just doing the physical stuff that needed 2 people, whether we were branding, weaning, moving cattle, hauling stuff, whatever it is. Why she would begin to take on those roles in that light. But always in the background has been her organizational skills. She's what kept everything running. I mean, you got to see her lists. I mean, her lists are just unbelievable.
Like whenever we would go on family vacations, Mom was always the one with a plan, because we had like 2 days and we're going here. We need to learn everything about what we're going to do there.
That's the skill that has really come to the surface in the last few years, is she just keeps me on track so that I can get something accomplished outside. She either had to adapt to being part of the family or not, and she chose to. And so since then, why She just assumes that this is where she comes from. If people ask her, she sometimes will not even remember the fact that she grew up in Northeast Nebraska because she's from the Sandhills. She said, that's who I am and that's what I do and stuff. And so it's been a slow transition to some of the things that we do out here. The miles, she's not a person that likes to drive a lot and stuff, so 50 miles for groceries and stuff was a bit of a challenge to start with. Now, she's subbing 3 days a week in schools that are all at least that far away and thinks nothing of it, and all the other activities that she does now, whatever there's events going on, doesn't matter. She says, I'm going, I can do it, and so she takes off in the way she goes.
I've had lots of past experiences, that fall into place. Yes, I was in Extension for a while. I was an IFE, which is, back when I went, was the International 4-H Youth Exchange, and I went to Germany for 6 months. And so these are all things that I wanted to do before I married this ranch guy and moved out here. So all of that, I keep learning, and that's part of what Extension is learning. You learn, you teach, and I continue to do that. Anytime they have an extension program that's anywhere close, I try to go just because I think learning is important. My background, like I was a real active 4-H'er. And so, I learned to give presentations. Now I'm in Common Ground. So all those things, they all kind of fit together.
Anita talks about agriculture wherever she goes. When she's substituting at school, she reflects that to the students that she's with 4-H, with judging, with Common Ground, with LEAD, the IFE program. She not only locally talks about agriculture, but internationally, she is working to promote agriculture, and she truly loves and advocates very well for us. So that is why she is so deserving to be the Ag-ceptional woman this year.
Hello, what's up? What's for dinner?
Congratulations! You are our Ag-ceptional woman of the year!
You're kidding!
Anita is very passionate about everything that she does. And so agriculture is who she has become. That's become her lifestyle. And so when she has something that she's passionate about, in everything that she does and everyone that she talks to, it is one of the things that will be in the forefront of what she says. Whether we're at a wedding, whether we're at a funeral or whatever it is, they eventually will ask, where are you from and what do you do? And so she will respond that she lives in the Sandhills and we raise cattle. And from there, the conversation usually goes to something about how it is that what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and how it is one of the best ways to do it, and as being a steward of the land and a steward of the livestock and stuff. So she's involved in many of the organizations out there that do promote agriculture, but it's just a part of who she is. And so she just takes it with her and she enjoys it. She's the voice and the face of it. That's not my thing. She gets excited about those things and it shows.
I think Anita is a very exceptional person, and she has done a lot of things. She puts her heart and soul in everything that she does. And when you walk into a room, by the time you walk out, Anita gets to know everyone in the room. She is personable, she's compassionate, and she wants to know everyone's story and wants to get to know people, and she does a great job at that.
She is such a connector. If you've met her for 5 minutes, she's probably got to figure out all about you and where you're from. We always joke that she's the original Facebook because she can do it without technology. She finds out who all your mutual friends are, where you've worked, what you've done in your life, but actually in person. And that's a skill that's definitely, I think, in today's world is just so unique about her, is that she can just connect with anybody from anywhere about anything.
I just saw Anita yesterday at a Women in Ag conference. It was a great conference because this is a year that's been really challenging for ag producers, especially people raising cattle, because of the drought and the uncertainty of availability of feedstuffs and prices and what to do in the future. And we had a speaker who asked each table of gals to just talk among themselves and come up with a story that we would want to share with consumers. And Anita, being Anita, volunteered, and she was just wonderful because she told the story that the women at her table had shared, but she said it with such emotion and feeling that it was obvious that Anita lives this same role that other women do, and she felt the same feelings that they were going through, and she was able to convey it in a way that the whole room was just in the palm of Anita's hand because of her ability to share what she felt deep down inside with other people. And that is so Anita.
It's quite an honor, and of course I never thought of myself, because I really kind of feel like I'm an imposer in ag, because I'm kind of slipped in the back. But I also want to say there's so many ways you can be a woman in ag. There's lots of different involvement, whether it's, like I substitute in while I'm subbing for the ag class or the shop class or whatever, and we're always sharing about agriculture, and then I tell them the things I do, and I say, oh, go to Pure Nebraska and watch my little video I did this week. So there's ways you can tell your ag story, no matter what role that you have in agriculture. And of course, supporting your husband, hello, that's huge, especially right now with all the stresses that people in agriculture are going through between the drought, the ups and downs in the prices, and the cost of shipping, and for us getting hay and getting trucking and all those sorts of things. So kind of a tough time in ag for most everyone in this room today. And I just want to tell you to hang in there. There are better days ahead, and it's those tough times that make the good times better. Because you learn through that and you grow through that. Wherever you are, I feel that you can bloom where you're planted. And I've always said you can be happy wherever you are, or you can be miserable wherever you are, and that's sort of up to you. And I feel God has put me here for a reason. So I have many church families, and I pray for those people, and you invest in their lives, and that's part of what God put us here for. So God has put me here at Elsmere, Nebraska, out in the Sandhills, and therefore that's where I am, and I love it.
She's done.